I looked at the pregnancy test, and my hand trembled. I never expected that, 3 years after being diagnosed with severe bilateral fallopian tube blockage by the doctor, I would end up pregnant. Tears welled up in my eyes from the excitement. I had been married to Manfred for 3 years, and I had never been able to get pregnant. His parents had always looked down on me for being a second-time bride. Seeing that I had no signs of pregnancy, they openly and covertly called me a hen that couldn't lay eggs. Manfred, on the other hand, would only offer me a few words of comfort before moving on. I knew he had a first love he couldn't forget, but for some reason, they broke up. The year after I started pursuing him, he proposed to me. To win his heart, I started trying to get pregnant. After 6 months of unsuccessful attempts at natural conception, I began going to the hospital every day. In the past 3 years, I gained 40 pounds just from all the fertility treatments. My face became unattractive, my body changed, and I endured the pain of 1,000 needle pricks. But still, I couldn't get pregnant. It wasn't until my best friend suggested, why not get checked again? With modern technology, if it doesn't work, you could always try IVF. The results from the checkup completely shattered my dream of becoming a mother. The doctor told me that my fallopian tubes were severely blocked, and my chance of pregnancy was only 10%. Just as I was about to give up in despair, luck actually found me. I was pregnant. No one could understand how I felt at that moment. Tonight was our 3rd wedding anniversary. I sent Manfred a message, asking him to meet me at the new house. I wanted to surprise him. After taking some pictures, I opened the bathroom door. Just as I was about to step out, I froze. The sound of the door unlocking and 2 different voices could be heard. One was Manfred's, and the other was his first love, Sophia's. Sophia was staring at the wedding photo on the table, gently stroking the ribbon on the leather sofa in the living room, and with a look of disdain, she slammed the photo album shut. "Aren't you and her just playing around?" The next second, tears filled Sophia's eyes. "The thought of me moving into a house I built with you, only to have a stranger woman live here with you, it makes me so angry." Manfred stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her waist, pressing his face to hers. They kissed. "I don't love her." Manfred kissed the tears on Sophia's face with deep affection. "I married her because she can't get pregnant. Her health is bad, so she can never get pregnant. The doctor who did her checkup is a friend of mine. Rather than being forced by my mom to go on blind dates with other women, I might as well marry a woman who can't have children. Then, when I divorce her, it'll save a lot of trouble." I gripped the door handle with cold sweat dripping down my palm. I couldn't stop thinking about that moment when Manfred knelt before me in front of all our friends and family, looking so sincere as he said, "I love you." Sure enough, men never speak a word of truth. Sophia turned around and pushed Manfred's hand away, both angry and amused. "Don't think I'll forgive you just because you say that. If a woman can't bear children, is she even a real woman?" Manfred held her tightly, spreading out the diamond necklace in his hand. "When have I ever lied to you? My mom dislikes her, and that's actually good for both you and me. Today is our 3rd anniversary, and I've been picking this necklace for a long time." Sophia wrapped her arms around Manfred's neck. "You got a message from her just now, why didn't you look at it? If you don't love her, when you sleep with her, who are you thinking about?" Manfred murmured softly, "Of course I'm thinking about you. You don't know, she's like a piece of wood in bed, there's no passion at all. And when I'm with you, I don't want to look at any other woman's messages." Sophia giggled. "So, tonight, bathroom or bedroom?" Manfred shook his head. "Little devil, you can't do that right now." Sophia interrupted him. "Shoo. Don't say it out loud. Tonight, I want you." Sophia pointed to the sofa. "Let's do it there. I want to look at your wedding photo with her while we do it. It's so exciting." Soon, the living room was filled with the sounds of laughter and heavy breathing. I stared at the pregnancy test in my hand and slowly turned the doorknob. The moment I walked out of the room, Manfred and Sophia quickly pulled away from each other. Manfred instinctively stood in front of Sophia, his eyes full of hostility. Maybe because of the life growing inside me, I didn't cry or make a scene. Instead, I calmly sat down across from them. Sophia hastily pushed Manfred away and covered the torn neckline of her shirt. Manfred's face darkened as he questioned me, "What are you doing here?" I forced down my anger and pointed at the two of them. Shouldn't I be the one asking you that? Sophia quickly buttoned her shirt, then walked over to me with a smile, linking her arm with mine. Don't misunderstand. She said sincerely, I was just trying on a gift for you. She quickly took off the diamond necklace and placed it in my palm. Isn't today your and Manfred's wedding anniversary? Manfred showed me the message you sent him. He picked out a gift for you, but was worried you wouldn't like it, so he asked me to try it on. Manfred's eyes froze for a moment. Clearly, he had forgotten the day. Or maybe he just never cared about any of the days that mattered to me. What was even more ridiculous was that his first love knew everything about me and still deliberately said those heart-wrenching words. And I had no idea that, for the past 3 years, while I had been married to Manfred, he and Sophia had been entangled for all that time. Their bond was unbreakable, and there was no place for me. But if Manfred knew I was pregnant, would he care about this child? Sophia turned to look at Manfred. Manfred avoided my gaze and nodded. I looked at the expensive diamond necklace in my hand. It was the one I had seen in the store countless times, but never bought. A 100,000 yuan necklace that Manfred bought without even blinking. I smiled bitterly. Anniversary? I forgot all about it. Manfred's eyes twitched slightly. Since the lady of the house is back, I'll be leaving now. Without wasting a second, Sophia swiftly left. The room was left with just the two of us. Manfred sat on the sofa, oblivious to me. Several times I wanted to tell him about the pregnancy test, but it turned into a heavy question on my lips. Aren't you going to explain? A man and a woman alone at night, trying on a necklace? Manfred impatiently replied, didn't she already say? Why are you still being paranoid? Sophia was certainly detestable, but the real culprit was Manfred, who couldn't let go of his first love and kept dragging me into this. I had seen it with my own eyes, and yet he still refused to tell the truth. Did I have to witness them lying in bed together before he would admit it? Manfred didn't want to face me, so he answered a phone call and rushed out. I clutched the pregnancy test in my pocket. Should I tell him I was pregnant? Manfred started sleeping in a separate room when he returned home. When I was at home, he did his best to avoid being alone with me. Occasionally, we'd be in the house together, and I would dry retch in front of him, even putting the test results in front of him. He wouldn't even look at them, just shut himself in his room. Even when I climbed into his bed and tried to hold him, he would push me away with disgust. This cold treatment lasted for a month. I, in turn, had lost 10 pounds due to his emotional abuse. One night, he suddenly received a call from Sophia. He went out to the balcony, trying to comfort her. Soon after, he got up, grabbed some clothes, and left. I couldn't take it anymore. I cried as I grabbed his hand, begging him not to leave. Manfred, I'm pregnant. I said it out loud, but he didn't believe me. Manfred froze for a moment, his expression cold. Don't think I'll believe your lies just because you're saying all this. I haven't touched you in months. How could you be pregnant? Lola, don't try to trick me with these methods. It'll only make me hate you even more. For the next few days, Manfred disappeared. I kept calling his phone, sending him the pregnancy report. He didn't pick up or reply. I knew he was trying to pressure me into asking for a divorce. I knew that even if I had the baby, he would despise me. Bit by bit, my disappointment accumulated, turning into irreparable despair. The night before Valentine's Day, Manfred came home. He placed a divorce agreement in front of me, all for the sake of his first love. Sophia's pregnant. She's 6 months along, and the child is mine. I didn't tell you earlier because Sophia was afraid of hurting you. But I can't wait any longer. The child in her womb can't wait either. I can't let her and the baby suffer. I need to give her a proper status. You know I've always wanted children, but you can't have any. Sophia and I grew up together. We have deep feelings for each other. She won't survive without me. If I lose her, my life will be meaningless. You and I are just a couple by chance. If you really want a husband, maybe you should reconcile with your ex. Our marriage was never meant to be. But you've done your duty as a wife these past 3 years. I won't mistreat you when it comes to compensation. I sat there numbly, listening to it all. I didn't argue, didn't cry, didn't yell at him. I just sat quietly, tears silently streaming down my face. The boy I once deeply loved had, in the end, become nothing more than a void in my gaze. After he stopped talking, I quickly signed the agreement, not wasting a single second. He looked surprised, but swiftly took the agreement away, as if afraid I might change my mind and tear it up, begging him not to divorce me. Seeing my calm demeanor, he didn't understand. "You don't seem to be upset." I forced a smile. "I've already ended things with dignity." "What, do you expect me to attend your wedding?" Manfred's face darkened, reverting to his usual cold, mocking tone. "You've been divorced twice, and you can't even have children. You might as well find a divorced man with kids and settle down." After he left, a sharp pain shot through my lower abdomen. I saw the bloodstains on my pants and called my best friend in tears. "I'm going to lose the baby." At the hospital, the doctor's words stunned me. "This is an ectopic pregnancy. You need surgery." Seeing my pale face, the doctor explained, "Your fallopian tube is almost blocked, and the embryo couldn't implant in the uterus. It implanted in the fallopian tube instead. If not treated in time, it could lead to severe bleeding and shock. And you'll need to have one of your fallopian tubes removed." The day I had the surgery was Valentine's Day. My best friend, who had been dying to scold me, saw my drained expression and kept quiet. "Forget it, I won't scold you." While signing the anesthesia consent form, the nurse asked if I had a family member with me. I clenched my fists tightly, suppressing all my emotions. "No. I can take care of myself." Valentine's Day was everywhere, an atmosphere thick with love. Even the hospital wasn't exempt. The TV on the wall was playing a love movie where a couple got back together after a breakup. A pair of lovers sat on the chairs, discussing the plot. How wonderful. The male and female leads, who were first loves, have finally gotten back together. Yeah, them getting married is the perfect ending. My best friend immediately shooed them away. She tore half of the heart-shaped decoration off the wall and stomped on it. I knew she was comforting me in her own way. I lowered my head, touching my abdomen, wanting to say a final goodbye to the child inside. Just then, Manfred and his first love Sophia had publicly announced their relationship on social media. Sophia posted a bouquet of roses and a diamond ring with the caption, "No matter how much time passes, how many mountains and rivers I cross, I know you will always wait for me." Manfred replied, "A 10-year promise, we've finally made it." I silently unfollowed Manfred and turned off my phone. The surgery was quick, but the anesthesia was deep. When I woke up, it was already the next day. Manfred had sent 2 messages. "We need to set a time to finalize the divorce. Pick a time to move your things." I typed out many words, but deleted them all. I simply turned off my phone. Still hanging on the 4 drip, I went to the outpatient building to get my report, only to run into Manfred and Sophia. Sophia was slim, but today, her dress revealed a slight bump in her belly. She was sweetly leaning against Manfred. I couldn't believe that on the day I lost my child, he was accompanying her to an obstetrician. I turned to walk away, but my best friend held me tightly. "Why are you running? The ones who should hide are them, not you." She dragged me over to Manfred and greeted him first. "Isn't this Lola's soon-to-be ex-husband? Taking your mistress to get checked up? Is it a bastard son or a bastard daughter?" Her loud voice drew everyone's attention. They noticed me and my best friend. Manfred's face turned dark, looking embarrassed and frustrated. "What are you doing here? Are you following me?" Seeing the people around us whispering, Sophia pitifully apologized to me. "Don't blame Manfred. It's my fault. If you're angry at me, go ahead and hit me." She stepped forward, tugging at my sleeve, but her hand was pressing hard on the spot where I had the 4. Sophia's grip tightened on my needle, causing me sharp pain. She fake cried, pulling me without letting go, completely unconcerned about the risk of infection from pulling out my needle. My best friend cursed, "Control your woman." "Manfred, I don't hit people. But I will hit the mistress who's ruining other people's marriage." Manfred furrowed his brows, pulling Sophia into his arms, and disdainfully shoved me away. "Lola, the issues in our marriage are between us. Don't drag Sophia into this." My best friend held me up, her voice sharp. "Do you like stealing other people's husbands that much? Are you that starved for love?" She turned to look at me seriously. Didn't our teacher teach us to sort trash from a young age? If someone else is handling your trash, you should be happy. Sophia clung to Manfred, crying softly. If my presence is making things so hard for you and Lola, I can leave. Manfred tenderly held Sophia. As long as I'm here, no one will dare to hurt you. After surgery, I was weak and had no interest in dealing with them. When the anesthesia wore off completely, I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my abdomen and had to squat down, struggling. Manfred instinctively reached out to help me, but Sophia held on to him tightly. I broke into a sweat, enduring the pain, and stood up. I've already scheduled the divorce appointment. You'll get a text on your phone soon. We'll see each other then. Manfred didn't expect me to not cling to him at all. He was still stuck on the image of me from years ago, desperately chasing after him. He thought I'd struggle, beg him to come back. But I didn't. Because he was just a substitute. 4 years ago, that was the happiest time of my life. My parents passed away when I was young, which made me a very introverted and unloved person. Unlike other people my age, I chose to work at a nursing home. Because I was serious about my work, the elderly residents really liked me. Especially Nathan's grandfather. The first time I met Nathan was when he brought his grandfather to the nursing home to check in. Unlike other elderly people, he was the one who actually wanted to live in the nursing home. This was because his deceased comrades were buried in the cemetery behind the nursing home. He wanted to live closer to them. He even said, when I die, it'll be easier to reunite with them. Every year, on the anniversary of his comrades' deaths, I would buy several bouquets of flowers for him. Nathan would accompany me, pushing his grandfather to the graves of his fallen comrades. His grandfather would tell us stories of his past with his comrades, but as he spoke, he would begin to cry. I've lived to be 90, married, had children and grandchildren, and seen the beautiful world with my own eyes. But my brothers will forever stay 18. I'm afraid that when I meet them in heaven, they'll laugh at me for being such an old man. Nathan came to visit his grandfather every day, and would talk to me as well. He was cheerful and generous, his smile as warm as the sun. I once casually mentioned that I liked strawberry cake. Nathan remembered it, and every time he came, he would bring me some. One day, his grandfather suddenly took both Nathan's and my hands, smiling, and said, "Can't you feel it? He likes you." Nathan looked at me seriously, his warm hand tightly gripping mine. My heart skipped a beat. From the first time I met Nathan, I had already fallen for him. After Nathan and I got together, the elderly people at the nursing home were as happy as if their own grandchildren had gotten married. Nathan told me that his parents were divorced, and he had lived with his grandfather since he was a child. His grandfather was his only family. Later, Nathan proposed to me, but I, feeling insecure as an orphan, told him there wouldn't be many relatives at the wedding. But his grandfather showed up with all the elderly residents. "We are your family." Nathan and I had our wedding at the nursing home. On our wedding day, his grandfather wore his military uniform, smiling as he witnessed our ceremony. Our love was something all the elderly residents had witnessed. They were the witnesses to our happiness. But our happy days ended when Nathan's grandfather passed away. Nathan's grandfather died of lung cancer. Before he passed, all the residents came to say their final goodbyes. "I'm going to meet my brothers," he said. He wore his military uniform, his hat on. Holding Nathan's hand and placing it on mine. "Take good care of Lola." Nathan nodded through tears, "I will." Then, Nathan's parents, who had never been in his life before, suddenly showed up to attend the funeral. Ironically, they had remarried. And now they were wealthy, upper-class people. Nathan's parents strongly opposed our marriage. "You're an orphan, and we're sorry we let you live with your grandfather all these years. Now that your father and I are remarried, we can finally be a family. We're not the same people we once were. The woman you marry has to match our family status. How can someone with no parents and no family background be worthy of our family?" But Nathan stood firm in protecting me. "Have you ever cared about me these years? Have you ever asked about me? If it wasn't for Grandpa, I would have starved to death on the streets. Lola is my wife. Unless I die, I will never divorce her." I lowered my head awkwardly. "Nathan and I will be happy." Nathan's mom looked at me with disdain. "Happy? How can you be happy? You're only holding on to Nathan because you think our family is wealthy. Tell me, how much money will it take for you to divorce my son? Mom. Nathan placed me behind him, tears in his eyes. I'd rather sever ties with you than divorce Lola. Nathan took me back to his grandfather's old home. At first, we lived happily together. Since Nathan was their only child, his parents had no choice but to compromise. But suddenly, Nathan, who had always been healthy, fell ill. The doctor said Nathan had severe kidney disease, and it was untreatable. The only option was lifelong dialysis. Even if he needed a kidney transplant, it had to happen soon, or it would be too late. The doctor also told us that the cost of dialysis was something an average family could not afford. Because I was with Nathan, his parents cut off his financial support. Nathan's salary alone couldn't support us for more than a few months. As I took care of Nathan, I became exhausted and frail. Nathan, unable to bear seeing me suffer, proposed a divorce one night. My parents want me to marry a wealthy young lady, someone who matches our family's status. Look at you now. How can you be worthy of me? I knew he was using reverse psychology to push me away, but I agreed to the divorce. Because a week ago, Nathan's mother had approached me. She made a deal with me: if I agreed to the divorce, she would take Nathan abroad and get him the best medical treatment available. For Nathan's sake, I compromised. A few months after the divorce, I tried to reach out to Nathan's mom, wanting to know how he was doing. But the news I received was that Nathan's kidney transplant had failed, and he died abroad. Outside the obstetrics and gynecology department, a growing crowd of onlookers had gathered. Sophia was starting to look uncomfortable. Let's go. Manfred checked his phone, his brow furrowed. You still haven't taken your stuff, and the cat's still at the pet hospital. My best friend interrupted him. Enough. You want this, and you want that. Do you think you're the emperor picking a wife? Manfred fell silent. I spoke calmly: I'll take care of everything after I'm discharged. I won't be a bother to you. The cat was mine, so it should come with me after the divorce. Manfred's pupils trembled slightly. He opened his mouth a few times, but swallowed the words back. Sophia sensed the tension and quickly pulled Manfred away. We're going for the pregnancy checkup now. After the checkup, shall we go buy baby stuff? I watched their retreating figures, unable to bear the sharp pain in my lower abdomen any longer, and fainted. After I was discharged, I rushed to the pet hospital to pick up my cat, only to be told it had already been taken. Nala was the stray cat that Nathan and I had adopted together. When he was sick, Nala never left his side. After Nathan passed away, Nala stayed with me. I had even customized a collar for the cat, engraved with our wedding date. Every year, on Nathan's grandfather's death anniversary, I would take Nala, now fat and well-fed, to visit. I had set up a small tombstone beside Nathan's grandfather's grave. Inside was an empty urn with Nathan's name engraved on it. When Nala was taken, I panicked. I rushed back to Manfred's house, planning to pack my things and take Nala away. As soon as I entered, I noticed the layout had changed. The wedding photo on the wall was replaced by Sophia and Manfred's college graduation picture. The study had been turned into a nursery. They couldn't wait to erase every trace of me. All my things were gone. Even Nala's cat bed was gone. I had a bad feeling, and I called out, "Nala?" But Nala didn't come out to greet me like usual. Instead, it was Sophia and Manfred who returned. We're remodeling the house, so I threw out everything that wasn't useful, Sophia said, staring me in the eye with a smug grin. All your stuff is in the trash in the hallway. Go ahead and look for it. I bit my lower lip, unwilling to dwell on things further, and turned to walk out the door. The summer heat was suffocating. I clumsily knelt in the dirty water, searching through the trash can with my bare hands. The trash can emitted a terrible stench. My clothes and books were soaked in the filthy water. I searched through the garbage, but there was no sign of my Nala. My breathing quickened. Where's my cat? Looking at the trash scattered all over the ground, I shook my head. Nala, like Nathan, was a neat freak. She would never be in the trash. I turned around and saw Manfred dragging Sophia by the hand, standing behind me with a complicated expression. I forced down my rising anger and asked, "Where is my cat? I want to take her with me." You're talking about that stray cat? Sophia sneered. That cat has toxoplasmosis, which is harmful to pregnant women. I got rid of it. Manfred agreed too. I clenched my fists, my face pale with fury. Manfred! How dare you get rid of Nala? She's my family. She's my treasure. She was a gift from Nathan when he was alive. Give me back my Nala. Manfred sighed in annoyance. It's just a stray cat. What's the big deal? You're not pregnant, so you wouldn't understand the danger of toxoplasmosis. His words struck a nerve. I grabbed a handful of trash from the ground and threw it at him, my rage boiling over. Give me back Nala. I've already lost everything. Everything. What more do you want from me? Why are you all bullying me? Why? He hurriedly turned his back, shielding Sophia in his arms, and shouted at me, Lola. Are you out of your mind? I screamed hysterically, she's my family. She's Nathan's gift to me. Why did you let her get rid of her? Nala is the only memory I have of him. She's my life. I've already treated her like my child. How dare you touch her? Sophia must be crazy from wanting a child. Sophia clutched her stomach, her face pale from fear. I noticed that she was holding Nala's collar in her hand. Give me the collar back. I gritted my teeth and charged toward Sophia, yelling, give it back to me. In the next moment, Sophia suddenly threw the collar out the window into the hallway. If you're so brave, go jump down and pick it up yourself. Manfred gestured for me to leave. Sophia, you're pregnant. Don't go too far. As I watched the collar disappear, a wave of pain crashed through my chest. I pointed at Manfred and couldn't help but scream at the top of my lungs. If you love your first love so much, why are you bothering me? Why are you bothering me? I've already stepped back. I'm not fighting or competing with you. What else do you want from me? Instinctively, I rushed to the window and jumped without hesitation. Lola. Are you crazy? Sophia screamed and backed away. Manfred took a quick step forward, trying to grab me, but missed. They didn't expect that I would really jump just for Nala's collar. At that moment, Manfred's eyes widened as he shouted my name, Lola. Sophia, panicked, pulled Manfred back from the window. Manfred, my stomach hurts. Seeing Manfred stand there in a daze, Sophia started to cry urgently. Manfred. Look at me. Our child. Manfred's pupils slightly trembled, and his face remained expressionless as he held Sophia tightly. It was her choice to jump. She brought this on herself. Sophia cried and defended herself, but her hands shook in fear. She was too scared to approach, but inside, she wanted me to die from the fall. From Manfred's panicked expression, she realized something was wrong. Manfred, for the first time, shook her off and rushed downstairs to find me. Sophia was completely panicked. She had realized that Manfred had feelings for me. Because of her actions, she and Manfred began to drift apart at that moment. I jumped, but I didn't die. The sunroom downstairs caught me, and I only suffered a broken bone. At that moment, I was completely awake. Manfred, after all, was not Nathan. 4 years ago, the night I found out Nathan had passed away. I sat on the overpass, holding Nala, ready to jump. It was Manfred who, unknowingly, pulled me back from the edge of despair. He smiled and said to me, "What's so hard in life? If you hang in there, it'll pass." Nathan had said the same thing. I froze when I saw his face, which looked so much like Nathan's. From that moment on, it was all downhill. Nathan left me, so I found someone who looked exactly like him to replace him. I would get up early and bring breakfast to Manfred. I would stay up late to queue for the new release of a phone for him. I would confess my feelings to him over and over, never tiring of it. I would show all the love I had for Nathan to Manfred. But Manfred didn't love me. He was deeply in love with his first love, Sophia. Manfred proposed to Sophia time and time again, but she was always absent. So, in a fit of frustration, Manfred put the ring on my finger. Lola, marry me. The day we announced our engagement, Sophia came to find Manfred. In front of his family and friends, she screamed hysterically, saying I had been divorced and was a woman no one wanted. She accused me of seducing Manfred to climb the social ladder, calling me a shameful third party. I didn't care how others saw me. Because as long as I saw Manfred's face, I was content. And Manfred, still holding my hand, declared to the red-eyed Sophia, "Lola is now my legal wife." Sophia left for abroad in a huff. This time, Manfred didn't try to stop her. Because of Sophia's behavior, Manfred's family did not approve of our marriage. At a family gathering, Manfred's parents grilled me with questions. "Lola, why did your previous marriage end? Did you have some hidden illness? Did no one want you?" I didn't know how to respond out of shame, but Manfred firmly held my hand. "I love Lola for who she is. I don't care about her past." Manfred's words really upset his parents. "Then you don't need to bother with the wedding." Manfred held Nala in one arm and me by the shoulder with the other, smiling, "It's fine. Lola and I don't care about these things. Nala is our child." Nala obediently licked Manfred's hand. That child, just like me, saw that face and accepted him. But now, for his first love, he easily abandoned Nala. Once Nala left home, she would have an anxiety response. I couldn't bear to think about how scared she would be in an unfamiliar environment. The memory broke off as I lay on the broken glass, my body battered. I made the decision to let go. I shouldn't harm myself because of a face that resembled Nathan's. If Nathan were alive, he wouldn't want me to lose myself over someone like this. Manfred carried me, covered in blood, and ran to the emergency room. Along the way, he kept comforting me. "Why did you jump? Is that collar really that important to you?" I cried out, "It's important. It was Nathan's gift to Nala." Manfred froze. "Who is this Nathan you keep talking about?" I grabbed Manfred's collar, pleading desperately, "Give me back Nala. Nathan is dead. I can't lose Nala too. She's always been with me, never leaving my side. She'll be scared, she'll be lonely. How could you bear to abandon her?" As I spoke, I passed out. Manfred's eyes widened in shock, his hand trembling as he held me. "Who is Nathan? Talk to me. Is it so hard for you to rely on me a little at this moment? I'll find Nala for you. Don't fall asleep." Because of the fall, the wound on my abdomen reopened. When the doctor was explaining the situation to Manfred, Sophia happened to arrive and overheard. "The patient just had an abortion, and her body hasn't fully recovered. She needs to rest more." Manfred was shocked and urgently asked, "What? You mean Lola was pregnant?" Sophia, her face pale, grabbed Manfred's arm, stopping him from leaving. "She must have gotten pregnant by sneaking around behind your back with some other man. You two haven't been together for months, how could it possibly be your child?" "Manfred, don't believe her. She's lying to you with the doctor's help, all to avoid a divorce." But this time, Manfred surprisingly didn't believe Sophia's words. He knew very well that 3 months ago, he had gotten drunk and mistakenly taken me for Sophia. And I, lost in the heat of the moment, had mistaken him for Nathan. The child was conceived that night. Manfred stormed into the hospital room, angrily questioning me. "Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? Why did you decide to abort without consulting me? Whose child is it? Is it Nathan's?" I choked on my words. "The child is yours." Seeing the fury on Manfred's face, I couldn't help but smile. I had never intended to hide this from him. He simply hadn't cared. I had dry heaved in front of him several times, I had even sent him the blood test results on purpose. But Manfred still believed I was faking the pregnancy, trying to trick him into coming back. It seemed that someone with a head full of romantic fantasies could truly convince themselves of anything. He was certain I wasn't pregnant. He was certain I would cling to him forever. He was certain the reports were all forged by me. I gently touched Manfred's face and said calmly, "I told you I was pregnant, but you didn't believe me. Then I sent you the blood test results, but you still didn't care and didn't even respond. Now, you're pretending to care and questioning me. Don't you find that ridiculous? The day you went public with your relationship with Sophia was the day I had my surgery. Don't act like you're a deep and sensitive person. It disgusts me." I mocked, "You were the one who gave up on this child, Manfred. As you wished, let's get divorced." Manfred grabbed my hand, his face inches from mine. "Tell me, who is Nathan? The man you've been calling out for in your dreams all these years, who is he? Have you always had someone else in your heart?" You've agreed to the divorce so easily because you want to be with him, right? You've only ever had me in your eyes all these years. Why aren't you crying? Why aren't you resisting? Why agree to a divorce? Seeing Manfred's frustrated and helpless expression, I smiled and pushed him away. Manfred, you finally realized, didn't you? You've been my substitute all along. The person I've always loved is just your face, because it looks like his. For that face, I could die. But someone as shameless as you is not worthy of being compared to him. Now that your beloved Sophia is back, you should be with her. Stop doing these self-pitying things. I find it repulsive. Manfred left, dejected. The next time we met was when we were finalizing the divorce. He returned Nala to me. It turned out, he never sold Nala but had been keeping her at a friend's house. I noticed the scratch marks on his face and asked, "What happened to your face?" Manfred gave a bitter smile. "Nala did this. It's fine. This way, I don't have to look like the man you speak of." I didn't respond to his words, quietly waiting for the paperwork to be processed. After everything was completed, Sophia, heavily pregnant, was anxiously waiting for Manfred. She smiled brightly. Suddenly, Manfred called out to me. "Lola." I turned around. "What is it?" Manfred hesitated for a moment before shaking his head. "Nothing." I smiled. "I wish you both happiness. Goodbye, and never again." That night, after the divorce, I left the country with Nala. Nathan had once said he hoped one day to take me around the world. Now, I was fulfilling that wish for both him and Nala. I traveled with Nala, writing along the way, and slowly became an internet sensation. Everyone envied our free-spirited life, just me and my cat. But fate never stops turning. I ran into Nathan, who had come back from the dead. Nathan had lost his memory. When I saw him at the rehabilitation center, his dim eyes suddenly lit up. He had forgotten everyone, except for the image of me. He's been here for a year. His parents abandoned him. I heard his parents are rich, and they also have an adopted son. The adopted son needed a kidney transplant, so his parents bribed doctors to fake a terminal illness diagnosis and sent him abroad. He escaped, but was hit by a car. Then he was brought here to recover. He's tried to escape many times, but always got caught. We can't release him without his family's consent. Perhaps due to fear, he forgot many things, and his parents can't do anything about it. They can only wait until he recovers and then take him back. I asked, could a wife sign for him? The nurse paused for a moment. I think that might be possible. The nurse took me to Nathan's room, where the walls were covered with my name. I felt my heart break as I hugged Nathan and cried. "You're so foolish. So foolish." Nathan smiled blankly, holding me tight. "Lola. I know your name is Lola." Suddenly, he whispered in my ear, "Lola, I've been waiting for you. I've been under surveillance, so I pretended to have amnesia. This is going to be a hard fight. If I win, I'll be the sole heir to the company. If I lose, I'll be stuck here forever, used as a living kidney donor. Will you fight this battle with me, Lola?" I nodded through my tears. "I will." Returning to the country was something that happened 2 years later. Nathan won, personally sending his parents and adopted son to prison. Now, he was the only heir to the company. I became famous for traveling with Nala and wrote a book called Travel Diaries. At the book launch, Nathan proposed to me again, in front of everyone. At that moment, my phone rang with a familiar number. It was Manfred. Years had passed, and I never expected him to call me. Manfred immediately spoke, full of jealousy, "You still can't forget me, right? Found someone who looks just like me as a replacement?" Nathan grabbed my phone from me. "You're the one who's the replacement. And stop calling my wife." After Nathan hung up, he looked at me apologetically. "I hope you don't mind me saying that." I smiled calmly. "Of course, I don't mind. It's all in the past now. Manfred is just a passerby in my life. I've been crazy, I've been sad, but I've never regretted it. Every relationship, I gave it my all. The end of that relationship was inevitable. It was enough to enjoy it while it lasted. Birds and fish follow different paths. From now on, we'll never cross paths again." May we both be well. Epilogue. I'm Manfred. I always thought I was the only one in Lola's heart. She loved me so much that she would personally deliver takeout to me in the middle of the night. She loved me so much that she would run errands for me again and again. She loved me so much that she would bring me hangover medicine when I was drunk in the middle of the night. I thought she really loved me. Until the day she jumped without looking back for Nala's collar. Until she cried and whispered the name of someone in her dreams. That's when I realized that I was just a stand-in. After Sophia got pregnant, I brought her home to meet my parents. When my parents found out they were going to be grandparents, their attitude toward Sophia changed 180 degrees. They spent a lot of money on supplements for Sophia. They even spent a fortune on our wedding. But after Lola left, my heart felt empty. I thought I no longer cared for her. But why, on the first night she left, did I cry? I cried. I foolishly wanted to contact her, but found out she had gone abroad. She didn't want to stay here for even a second. Later, I came across Lola online. She had lost weight, gained confidence, and become beautiful. She was no longer the self-conscious, plump girl she once was. She traveled the world with Nala and received many compliments. I read her posts and realized I had never truly understood her. She was confident, radiant, and eloquent. But why did I think her world only revolved around me, as a housewife who had accomplished nothing? After Sophia married me, she started changing. She would often check my phone, and if she saw I had visited Lola's profile, she would go crazy and start fights. I suddenly grew tired of it all. Why do women change after marriage? After seeing Lola, I finally understood the problem. It wasn't that women changed, it was that men hadn't given them enough security. I tried to treat Sophia better. If she wanted to look at my phone, so be it. If she wanted to check my chat history, go ahead. Then, the day Sophia went into labor, the whole family was nervous. But after the baby was born, everyone was stunned. Sophia gave birth to a baby with blue eyes. None of us had blue eyes. She cried and explained that it wasn't intentional. That had happened when we broke up, and she had gotten drunk. She didn't remember who slept with her. When she found out she was pregnant, she was terrified. But she was even more afraid of losing me, so she lied and said the baby was mine. My parents were furious. I asked for a divorce, and Sophia, overwhelmed, jumped off a building. She didn't die, but she became mentally impaired. I took her to the countryside for treatment. Every month, I would visit Sophia at the rehab center in the countryside. Her mental state had improved a lot. But the doctor said she had experienced temporary memory loss. She remembered everyone except me. After she was discharged, I stayed with Sophia. This time, my parents didn't stop me. They felt that since I was divorced, it didn't matter who I remarried. Later, I heard that Lola had opened a bakery named after Nala. Sophia insisted she wanted to go, so I took her there. Through the window, I saw Lola bustling around, but smiling brightly. She had become confident and elegant. I heard that after her divorce, Lola had developed a passion for fitness and had become more disciplined in her lifestyle. She looked younger than ever. I also heard that her ex-husband loved her deeply, supported her career, and gave her plenty of space to grow. It turns out my moon also had her own moon. She had hired many divorced women with financial struggles to work for her, giving them confidence and support. Through live streaming, she encouraged divorced women not to care about the label of a second marriage. She urged them to shake off the label, live for themselves, and be independent without relying on men. I secretly sent her gifts in her live stream. Lola had finally stopped being the person who used to worry constantly about pleasing me. I realized that now, I wasn't worthy of her anymore. When love becomes a thing of the past, I know it's time to let go. Since I can't hold on to the beautiful moments of the past, I'll just pretend everything is fine. End of the story.